going on, guys? Welcome back to Robbie Early Motorsports. I am Robbie. This is my 2010 Silverado that I've been rebuilding over the course of 6 months, 8 months, something like that now. Started out with a pretty grandpa truck. Well, not really grandpa truck. It had some TIS 544s on it in chrome and some no-name tires. Sold those almost immediately, along with a handful of other things like running boards and a tonneau cover. Just to put back into it, because we have done a ton of different mods, so make sure you go through my old episodes. They aren't very good. I've been progressing my editing and being more comfortable with the camera. I've actually got a camera on a gimbal thing, and it's kind of tracking me around. Just got that today, so I'm kind of playing with that. But tonight I did a few things. I got some 6.2 badges installed on the hood, or at least just one. Try to shut this off for a minute. There we go. Just got that installed. Ooh, looks pretty good. There goes my screen. Give you a little update on the rest of the truck. I got the mirror fixed. The clear was peeling on that, so that's all fixed. Mostly put back together. Waiting on I don't have the T10 bit in order to put the mirror motor back on, but door panel's in. I'm waiting. Man, I'm kicking the bottom of this thing. Sub is in, waiting to get a piece of heat shrink to class that up a little bit. That's 99% done. Another thing I'm going to try to wrap up here this week is the passenger side rear glass. That is pretty pitted and like water stained. So is the back glass. You might be able to see it, maybe not, but it's pretty bad. So those Renegade products, Pro Pads, are really coming in handy with that. It's really doing a great job. It's what I've used on all the other glass pieces. Let's see if this thing will turn back on. Alright, how about that? So that is probably going to be it for right now. Or at least I'll put on this other 6.2 badge real quick. Why not? Let's see, get a little tape. Measure how far down. 5 3/8. Let's see where the tape go. Right there. Peel off the backing. Usually, you're doing this with, you're just swapping the badges out. Like if you're going from chrome to black, what you can do is take the foam right off your new badges, stick them on the truck, tape along this edge and that edge, put the foam back on the new badges, take the old ones off obviously, clean it up, prep it up, and then you basically know exactly where you need to put your badges. Without it being crooked or anything like that. So, alright, pretty good. I'm very happy with that. I can't wait to get my cowl done. I got that primed, so that's in process to get done. I painted my third brake light, that mirror, and the end caps for the cowl today at work. So just got to do that cowl and then a tailgate cap, and then I think I'm all done with paint match. Once the cowl's done, I can get the hood thrown on it and wrap up a few other small things, and then the winter projects and swapping over projects will basically be done. So that is all I'm going to do tonight, so that's where I'm going to end this update. So I will see you guys in a couple seconds. What's going on, guys? It has been a minute since I've filmed anything or even done much to the truck. I've done a little bit, not a whole lot. I'm going to try to get a few things wrapped up tonight, as you'll see here. I've just been busy with stuff around the house, so you know how it goes. I don't know if I have done a little bit of a garage update. As you can see, we got drywall all on the walls, ceiling over there. Obviously, we did that a little while ago. But ceiling is all done and silver's all around the walls. It's obviously not finished, but it's up. So as of right now, what we're going to get into is just wrapping up, putting these wire staples, or whatever you want to call them. I already did some, kind of put some glue into the cracks. These GMT 900s seem to crack just as bad as second gen Dodges, or at least this one did. I don't know where this guy was parking in North Carolina, but yeah, it must have been in direct sunlight. But anyway, we're gonna make the best out of it. I got some fake leather from a little hobby store local to me. Kind of tried to follow the same grain texture. It's a little bit different, but it'll be pretty close and still look fairly good, I think, once we get it done. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the staple heater tool, and then wrap this up. It's a fairly easy tool to use. Let's see. Get a little bit closer. There we go. Just pull the trigger, it heats it up, and then obviously you melt it into whatever. But you gotta be careful not to push it too far past, because then that kind of defeats the purpose. So, just like that. I get it centered over the crack. These ones work a lot better than the ones I was using. You just pull the trigger till it seats down and let go. You don't want to pull the tool right off the staple, otherwise you'll just pull the staple right out of the dash or whatever you're using. Get a few of these in. These were like $10 for 1,000 off of the Amazonian store. You know what I'm talking about. That guy's probably scrolling right now looking for this kit. Another thing I gotta figure out before I put the dash all back together is that my backup camera quit working. So I gotta verify that the camera's getting power. It gets power off my reverse lights. My reverse lights work. Verified that the other day. So I just gotta crawl underneath the back of my truck and make sure it's got camera to it. I think I use a very cheap connector deal, also from the Amazonian store. That one, not as great a luck as these staples. Not as good as quality, let's say. I think one more, and we'll be all set. Go over everything, make sure there are any gaps. Couple more. this will be the last one, unless I find out. I think we're all set. Seems to be holding good, so go ahead and get this stuff cleaned up and start clipping all them wires. Alright, let's get the clip. Alright, got them all clipped up. Dash looks just like Frankenstein and all of his stitches, but I think I'm gonna take the truck back into work towards the end of this week, because I'm gonna have to take the oil pan off of the engine, which is gonna require dropping cross member out of it, the front diff, and then hopefully not the steering gear, because I'd rather not realign this thing again. Not like it's a hassle, but I'd rather not. Dropping the pan down because at idle and stuff like that, 40 pounds of oil pressure. When I get on it a little bit, it drops down to 20. And that is due to the fact that I put a pressure relief valve back in the pan, and I shouldn't have. I should have just plugged it, since I obviously got rid of the AFM, where I put plugs in those ports. When I built the engine, I should have plugged that relief valve, but I didn't, so I wasn't aware. So if you're building an LS, don't do that, otherwise you'll be dropping the pan or pulling the engine out, depending on your application. So that might be happening towards the end of the week here, so obviously I'll try to record that, and then I think at the same time I'll take my little angle grinder and kind of dress that up. Good morning, guys. It is currently Friday morning. Got the 6.2 truck on the lift. Got the engine oil draining. As you see my caddy behind me. Engine oil looks good, so that's a plus. I'm going to get this pan dropped and get that plug in the oil pan, so that way I've got all the oil pressure all the time. And yeah, filming on my iPhone today. Forgot to grab the GoPro, so I'll try to get a few clips here and there as I do stuff, but yeah, let's get cracking. Hopefully I can get this done today and still drive it home. Alright, 20 minutes later, we got the oil pan, or not the oil pan down, but we got the front diff out of it, the cross member. Obviously the CV axle is unbolted from the differential. I've got it over here behind me. Maybe I'll do a fluid change on that. I need to do the transfer case and rear diff anyway. I know I've got some fluid at home, so I'll see if I've got any laying around here that I can throw in that, get that done at the same time. But yeah, 20 minutes, got everything in the way, out of the way. Just got to get the oil cooler lines off and get some other stuff unbolted from the sides, and then we'll get the pan down and then we'll take a look. Alright, got the oil pan down. I did have to drop the steering gear down. There's this hose right here. The bend is just way too tall, and it was not allowing me to drop the front of the pan down enough to drop the rear and get out. So I had to drop the steering gear. It's a bummer, but it's alright. You can get it bolted back up and just adjust the toe. But yeah, here is the pan. Everything looks relatively well. We got some debris kind of down in there. I don't know if I can turn my camera, but overall, not too concerned with how everything looks. I'm gonna go ahead and get it cleaned up, cleaned out. Get this valve. This is the culprit, and then get a Trax drain plug installed to the same thread, and it's got an O-ring on there, so that way it's kind of like double sealed. I might put some thread locker on there, put something on there and really torque it down. torque her down to the German spec Guden tight. So that way we don't have any further issues. But yeah, I'm gonna keep rolling here, and I don't know, maybe get this thing back together before I get my first RO of the day. All right, we got this thing back together. I did fire it up already, kind of watch oil pressure and stuff like that, and it is so much better. It's better at idle, it's better revving it up. It is so much better. So do not put this little relief valve in your oil pan when you're doing anything other than putting it back to stock. So the only reason why I did that is because there's a bulletin out there for stock engines to put this little guy in there. It directs oil back into the pan to help prevent oil consumption. Well, I'm like, well, I don't want that. I don't want oil splashing everywhere and doing X, Y, and Z. So that's why it was in there. That's why I put it in there, whatever. But got it plugged up, got the oil pressure looking a lot better. So I'll probably do another 500-mile oil change kind of break-in period, and then kind of go from there. But very happy. Got some other stuff done to the dash also. I got all the wired staples ground down, so that is getting closer to being done. Also tweaked the exhaust a little bit. One of my tips was kind of crooked, so a couple minor adjustments, I guess you could say. But no, we're getting some stuff done, so I'm pleased. But right now I gotta probably need to look into the backup camera issue before I pull it off. But I gotta run to the bank, take care of some business there. But I think that's gonna be it for today. Nothing really exciting for the backup camera diet. I'm just gonna look for power. Should have that. If I don't, then that's probably why it doesn't work. But that's gonna be it for today, guys. So I will see you guys later. What's going on, guys? I've been editing this video. Just wanted to give you kind of a wrap up. Some of these clips have been over the course of a few months, and if you pay attention to the garage, it now has drywall and in the ceiling and on one of the walls. So some of the earlier clips it didn't. So getting a few things wrapped up today, or kind of progressed would be a better word. Since it's slow, I've got the epoxy kind of on some of the cracks in the dash from over the wire staples, so that's kind of curing, kind of holding that dash a little bit better together. Just giving it a shot. I don't know if it's going to do much more than the wire staples or add much more strength. It's just more of a peace of mind, and I tried. So that is kind of going to wrap things up. Obviously the truck is driving, got the hood installed. There's the 6.2 badge I installed earlier. The cowl is installed, so I've been driving it. Got a few miles left before I put on. Got a few miles left to put on it before I change the oil for a second time. But oil pressure still seems to be looking good. And then as far as the window glass goes, I mentioned that earlier. Ended up sanding it with like 2,000 and 3,000 grit sandpaper. All the water spots are now gone, or mineral spots are gone, but it's kind of looks like spider webs on there. Or like when someone does a really bad job buffing paint, that's what the window looks like. So eventually make that better down the road. Probably won't videotape that. Obviously didn't videotape me and wrapping up that mirror, putting the cowl in, stuff that doesn't really need to be recorded, along with the tailgate cap. So that is going to wrap it up for this one. Stay tuned for the next one. I got kind of a new build to the channel. I've known the car for ever since I've been alive. Kind of a special deal there that I will reveal next time, so keep your eye out for that. So thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.